Where have I been? I have been all around the world this past few months. No YouTube videos from me now in about 6 months on this channel and about 4 months on the main channel. What have I been doing? I've been enjoying life. I took summer off. Give me a break. But we're back now. The sun is gonna go down. We now live in Dubai because fuck England. It's gone to shit. People keep trying to steal from me out in England. Like my house it's terrible. The situation over there, crime-wise, is not good. I don't feel safe. I have to move out here. Anyway, moving on from that part of things. Yes, I live in Dubai now. It's not a thing that, obviously I'd rather live in England. It's got grass, but it's also got too much crime. So there's that. So anyway, and I kept personally getting targeted by the crime. That was the main issue. And we can talk about that in future videos, maybe on a podcast or whatever. I've got plans. I'm making a studio and stuff out here, so I'll do a podcast. I'll explain about the things that were happening. But anyway, why am I here and where am I? Well, this is the Burj, and this is where I live now. I live next to the Burj. And yeah, still trade crypto, still do everything that I used to do. And I thought, you know what, give you a quick flat tour. And it's not the biggest flat in the world, but it's quite nice. And yeah, then we'll kind of talk about crypto. I've prepared like 17 different charts for us to look at in today's video. And yeah, I think the next few weeks we're going to make a lot of money. In fact, to be honest, the back end of this year, it's going to be money printing season. We're going to make a lot of money. And the thing is, you see all these people on the internet, and I keep seeing them as well. You got like HS Tiki Talkie, and all these brand new crypto guys popping up out of the blue going, look, I'm a crypto millionaire. Fuck you. You're full of shit. You've not been doing this the same amount of time. You don't understand. You just come out, make a meme coin, and boom, think you're rich. Yeah, on paper you are, but try and sell that thing. No liquidity. Got to have volume, got to have liquidity. What we do here on this channel is we actually make money from trading. This is the point of this channel. The main channel is altcoin investments. And I'm going to talk about a couple of altcoins as well in today's video that I think are going to do pretty well. I've been spending the last few months while I've been traveling around the world, been to Thailand, been to Toronto, been to, I don't know, like half of Europe, racing around the world, whatnot. It's been a busy time, but I need to make some money again because we've been spending. And it's been, if you think racing is not cheap anyway, you all know I do a lot of racing, but racing isn't cheap, and travel isn't cheap, and houses aren't cheap. But anyway, house tour, what do we have here? We've got a living room. Well, hey, look at that. Very nice living room. We've got the Burj. We've got a balcony. On the balcony, there's a table and chairs and whatnot, but it's got 2 balconies, does this apartment. We've got a table, like every apartment on Earth. We've got a nice watch there. Picked that up recently. It's a Rolex root beer. I actually bought it from Rolex, not from a guy. I don't like to buy my watches from guys. We have a kitchen. Look, it's a lovely kitchen, is this? Next to the living room. And to be honest, one of the things why I like this place is because my house in England is huge. There's a big downside to having a huge house. It's that my kitchen is literally like 200 meters away. No, probably not 200 meters, probably like 100 meters away from my bedroom. So if I want some food at night, I have to walk so far, and I don't like that. Whereas now, I don't have that problem anymore because my bedroom, because I'm in an apartment, is just down there. What we've got down here. So you walk down here. The bedroom's through that door down there, but we're not going to go in there. We've got a toilet. Look, whoa, toilet. We've got another bedroom here. And then we've got the studio. I'll just quickly show you. I have another bathroom. It's got 2 bathrooms as this place and a toilet. Look, well, hey, toilet. Anyway, we're going to the studio. This is my current setup. Now, it's not the best setup on earth. The bed needs to leave this room. This room will be converted into a nice studio. It's got a nice view. It's got everything going. And I've got all the charts and everything loaded up on my janky setup because we still have, I can't put a desk and everything else in here until we've got everything fully set up, basically. So I need the desk, I need the chair, I need the screens, I need everything sorting. But the thing is, I can't do that until the bed's out. So I'm stuck in that situation now, limbo, get the bed out, get everything sorted, and then we're fully back on it. And honestly, I am so excited to get back to work. I'm excited to be making money again. Not that I don't make money anyway, I have businesses that make money. I feel like when I'm on holiday, I have such huge FOMO about there's so many things happening and I feel like I'm missing them. Even though in most cases I'm participating, like with memes, I've done so many meme coins, since I stopped making YouTube videos about 4 months ago. I've made so much money on meme coins. Meme coins are fantastic. I don't know why people don't get behind them. Half my community thinks that they're wank, but they're not. They're really good. You can make so much money off meme coins because people don't care so much about altcoins, so you've got to focus on where the money is. And currently, the money is in memes, and the money is not in really anything else right now, which means that we're in some good positions in terms of where the future is headed. Phantom, I'm very bullish on it. We're going to get onto this, and we've got to get onto a couple different altcoins. NXRA, we've got to discuss that because in the past 4 months, that thing's shot to zero. We've got some charts loaded up here, Bitcoin, Solana. We've got a bunch of other things loaded up here, like coin glass charts, kind of some on-chain data. We've got some comparisons for the past 12 months. So if you wouldn't mind, we are now 5 minutes and 50 seconds into this video, so slap a like on it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Turn on those channel notifications, and let's crack on. So, first things first, let's compare, and I apologise for the dirty screen. I meant to clean that before I started filming, but I've started anyway, so we're cracking on. This is last year. This is this year. It's very likely that after September, this thing starts going up because the fractals are exactly the same. If we look here, last year, around the same period of time, Bitcoin had shot up from $16,000 up to 32, up, down, and then break out at the back end of the year, upwards and upwards and upwards, and that does just keep going upwards. There is a lot more upside to that. Now, if we're to experience a similar thing right now, we can expect that Bitcoin's price towards the back end of this year is probably going to shoot up to like $85,000, $90,000. Come New Year, new me, January, Trump gets in charge, starts printing fuckloads of money, and we start making a bunch here. And that's why it's important. Look, pay attention now. The next 12 months are some of the most important times, because if Trump gets elected, and I don't care about your political stance. I'm not the most political person on earth. But if Trump gets elected, we are going to make so much money, and you have to pay attention, because it's going to be like lockdown again, when you could literally just fire in $10,000 into anything and come back the next day with 100K. We're going back to that period in time, because Trump pump, we all know what he does. He supports businesses and everything like that. Anyway, what we've got to talk about here, liquidation heat map. This weekend, in terms of short-term price predictions, there's a lot of liquidations up here, kind of around that 60K mark. It's quite likely Bitcoin does stand a good chance at going up mid tomorrow, I would put it at, up to around 59,600. But don't forget, the CME gap is currently pretty much at the levels where we currently are, somewhere around 59K. So don't expect a crazy move this weekend. It's not going to happen. But then the question is next week. Okay, we go over to the 3-day liquidations chart. We've got a lot more liquidations up here at $63,000. I think that next week we stand a good chance of pumping. The market is looking healthier and healthier. New oil and gold. Crypto is suddenly braced for the most important week after a Federal Reserve powered Bitcoin price surge. That is a little bit old now. It's from August the 25th, but it still remains relevant. Bitcoin flirting with $65,000 on Powell pivot streak of ETF flows. What happened there? Remember when the Bitcoin ETF got approved? When the Bitcoin ETF got approved, Bitcoin's price shat the bed and then pumped. We're in a similar situation right now. Good news comes. Fed decreasing interest rates. We're probably going to get a 0.5% drop off, despite the fact that currently the futures market is, whatever you call this, 30% chance currently is putting it at a 0.5% rate hike. My personal thoughts are that number is wrong, and it's more likely we have a very strong start with a 0.5% rate hike, more so than it's likely that we get a 0.25% rate, no, not rate hike, sorry, rate reduction. 0.5% rate reduction, 0.25. Currently, more likely from my perspective that this one happens despite the chart saying otherwise. So, given that I think that's going to happen, I think that housing prices are going to go up. That's going to give people more equity in loans that they can then loan against. So you can remove equity from your house. You can then spend that equity on the markets. What are you going to spend it on? All the markets start going up. You get back into that good cycle again. As soon as you start dropping those interest rates, the value of money starts going vroom. Like, we're going to make so much of it, and I'm very excited for that time. There's a few other things to point out. For the first time in ages yesterday, we had pretty much every single spot Bitcoin ETF fund selling for the first time in ages. There's been a little bit like a topsy-turvy week, but on the whole, if we scroll down this list, the bulk of the times, these funds are buying a lot of Bitcoin. Last week, small amount of selling, but they're only small amounts. Like, if you look at when they're buying these huge amounts of Bitcoin. So if you look since the start, everybody is in a net positive flow on the spot Bitcoin ETF. But when they're buying, they're generally buying 1,400 Bitcoin, 1,000 Bitcoin. And when they're selling, you got 1,000 Bitcoin, 1,000 Bitcoin. There's no like crazy big numbers. The other thing to point out would be the Ethereum ETF has been definitely more so positive than negative. We're seeing an influx of stock market money into the cryptocurrency market, and it's likely only going to get better. The other thing to point out would be the spot Bitcoin flows. What does that mean? The amount of Bitcoin deposited and withdrawn from exchanges. We want to see this number going down as much as possible. We want to see as many red candles on this chart as possible, because you know what a red candle means? A red candle means that somebody has withdrawn from the exchange. And if they've withdrawn, that Bitcoin can no longer be bought. It's no longer for sale. And the odds are it's not coming back into circulation for a while. That means that the scarcity of Bitcoin is increasing. And all you need is a slight influx of new demand. And then boom, the prices have gone scatty. When the Bitcoin price is $80,000, it will hit $100,000 within a couple of days, because the amount of demand for it will just shoot up because, oh my God, it's going to go up. And then everybody buys. It's just this stupid psychology of humans, rather than buying it when the price is low and accumulating as much as you possibly can. And that's what you should be doing right now. You should be, like, literally, I'm flying back to England in a couple of days. My house is for sale. I want to get that thing sold. We're dropping the price of it. Because, I mean, even if I drop the price of it 10% now, I'm better off buying Bitcoin at $59,000 than I am buying Bitcoin at $69,000 when my house is sold. I want to get the thing sold so that I can buy as much Bitcoin as possible. I'm dropping the whole thing in Bitcoin and a couple of other cryptocurrencies. Why? Because I can. Anyway, top crypto derivative exchanges ranked. Interesting to see that Binance is still the top one. OKX, Crypto.com, DYDX, BitGet, BYBIT. Well, actually, this is an interesting thing. So the volume here is, I don't actually know how they're getting this ranking, because the volume doesn't match anything. Let's ignore that. Move on to the next thing. The final thing on this kind of on-chain data segment of today's video, the Bitcoin Chicago Mercantile Exchange report says basically that the CME group is buying more so than they're selling. Also, if we look here, the dealer is currently long, or rather, they're short. The dealer is short right now. And the asset manager is long. The asset manager has got a lot more positions open than the dealer. Leveraged funds are currently short, which again, if we're adding these two together, does the asset manager have enough money to liquidate these two? Other reportable, longs and shorts. So currently, net long, net short. Very equal market. Not really a lot going on the CME Group exchange. But as time goes on, I'm going to explain more and more about what the data means. So make sure you have slapped like on this video and subscribe to the channel. Anyway, some charts today. We need to look at what's going on. So let's look at the big telly. And I'm going to stand up for this segment of the video, because I drew this chart the other day where Bitcoin's price dropped, accumulated, and I thought, you know what, if you break that level there, we're going to keep pumping. Unfortunately, we failed. But what is interesting about this is this is starting to form a very, very nice accumulation pattern. And if I am to zoom out here and go on to the 1 hour chart, you can see here the Bitcoin is abiding by. Probably need a longer chart, to be honest, than the 1 hour. If we go over to the, let's go daily, see if it pops up on the daily. It will do. I just need to now reset the scale to auto. There we go. Bosh. Bitcoin is forming a giant bull flag. And this giant bull flag will probably continue for 1 more month. It's probably going to be September. Historically, September has not been the most positive month. It's been a pretty flat month on average. 8 out of the last 10 Septembers have been negative months. However, this year has something very much in common with the last positive September that we had, which was in 2017. 2017, I think, was the last positive September. And the thing it's got in common with that is we rallied at the start of the year, we then crashed, like what we've just done, and then we rallied at the back end of the year, and that's what happened in 2017. It's the only year that we've had two kind of big rallies up in 1 year, and I remember the end of the 2017 rally. It was amazing, and then January was just terrible. Anyway, no, January was okay actually in 2017. Anyway, going back to it, the Ethereum chart currently definitely a buy. You see, this is Ethereum versus US dollars on the 4 hour chart, and you can see here this is looking pretty like meh, like it looks a bit crap. But if we go here over to Ethereum versus Bitcoin, I have prepared a lovely chart here with some red circles. What do these red circles mean? Each red circle is correlating with a point on the STONKSY trading indicator. Now, the STONKSY trading indicator is something that you can buy. I'll link it in today's video description. It's something that we've spent years developing. It's something that I trade internally with my own funds, and we use this indicator all the time, but you'll get to learn about it more in future videos. Anyway, it's pointless me shelling it. Let me prove to you that this thing works, and then if you want it, you can get it. So, what we've got here, dot, 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 dot. These points here, I've highlighted them on the chart. These are crossovers on the STONKSY indicator where the price has reached this certain level down here. Now, it can't reach, it has to reach the very, very bottom. So you can see that every time the price, that there is not the very, very bottom. Every time it reaches the very, very bottom of -1 here on the chart, and then we cross back over, we can see here, we reach -1 down at the crash at kind of around this point here. And then the point where the crossover is on the chart is about that point there. And then you enter into long position. 11% profit, 10% profit, 23% profit, 9% profit, 5% profit, 6% profit, and 9.5% profit. Now, the exact same thing has just happened now on Ethereum versus Bitcoin, where we've just crossed bullish here. Same thing. We've hit the very low point on that spike down, just like we hit the very low point on this spike down here. And on this spike down here, we hit the very low point. And it's on this crossover back that you need to catch the trade. Because yes, you've already missed out on that much. And that much there, that's about 5% profit is that. However, you don't need to catch that point. That point's not important. However, if you do catch these things on the 4 hour, it's an amazing indicator. Literally, all you have to do is buy when it hits down at the bottom. And you'll make money. Like, you just do it over and over again. I have an entire fund, literally, that just goes and buys. Every time it smacks the bottom. Anyway, this here is primed for a 10% pump, according to a law of averages here, where we've had 8 plus 7% pumps versus Bitcoin, and 8 breaks red to green. That's what we've got here. And this is dating back throughout the entirety of this year. And I could date that back forever, but you can see every single time it calls it correctly. Every single time. So there's another point here that I want to show you, which is on the Solana chart. Now on the Solana chart, I've prepared a very similar chart here, which is Solana currently trading at $136.60. A bit crap, if I'm honest, especially according to recent kind of Solana data. But what we've got here is on the STONKSY indicator, you can see that in that's about December 2023, you can see that we had a 116% rise in the price of Solana when the price of Solana hit the -1 point. And again, it hits the -1 point here and has a 134% rise. Hits the -1 point there, it has a, 123% rise. Hits the -1 point again here, and then it has a 39% rise. And look what's just happened. Literally just now, this is the best time to buy Solana that you could possibly wish for. And for me, one of the things that I'm doing in my portfolio right now is I'm accumulating as much Solana as possible, because if you can hold 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 Solana's going to be one of them things in the next bull market that goes 10x, it goes 20x, it does really well. So on the whole, very bullish on it, and you should be too. Now we've got a couple more things to discuss, and then it's time to wrap up today's video. We're already 18 minutes into this video now, but Bitcoin dominance, whoa, look at that there. What does that look like? That looks like it's peaking, and almost, Bitcoin dominance peaking, Ethereum versus Bitcoin bottoming. What could it be? Could it be time for altcoin season? Maybe. And if it is, this absolute turd that got hacked again, you don't know how it does it, but it got hacked again. And this is NXRA, by the way. I hold a bunch of this shit, but I think that this shit stands a good chance at having a very good run-up, just based off what it's done in recent history, because it had a massive run-up, a terrible crash down, and it's probably going to have a big run-up again. So I think to buy $10,000 of this now, what's it, at 4 cents? And if you bought $10,000 of it here at 4 cents, and you waited, you'd have $53,900 if it re-reached its all-time high. I think it will do, because I actually still think at 28 cents, it's still pretty cheap given what the technology does. I just think that they shattered the confidence in their community. The other thing that's probably going to do quite well pretty soon is Phantom. Now, Phantom currently trading at 42 cents. Very cheap for Phantom. I think it's a very wise idea to hold some spot. And the reason why I think it's a good idea to hold some is if you look here at the daily chart, Phantom is very much near the bottom of what it's been recently, but also Phantom is going through a rebranding. And the rebranding over to Sonic is going to basically make a huge pump. The other thing to be looking for right now is self chain. It's a new chain. Well, it's not a new chain, it's front, but rebranded as self. So if you buy some, those are 3 coins I'm pretty bullish on. I hold each one in my portfolio, and each one that I hold in my portfolio, I hold well in excess of $100,000 of each coin. I don't know. Anyway, market's coming back. We're going to make a bunch of money, and you should slap a like on today's video. If you did like it, like 20 minutes, pretty good video that. I'm quite happy with it. So slap a like on it, subscribe. Tell your friends and everybody that I'm back. I really appreciate it. And tell them that I'm now a tax dodging asshole that lives in Dubai. So have a great day, everybody. See you in the next video tomorrow.